Hi, some of you were waiting for videos for the first packet of work to do, so I am going to walk you through a couple of examples from each page. In the comments, when I post this, I'm going to go ahead and also put at what time each worksheet is so that you can jump right to the ones that you need, okay? We're going to be using the cell phone for the calculator. If you have your own calculator, that's fine. A couple of these worksheets have apps that you can download that make life a lot easier, and I highly recommend that. Okay, so let's get started. The first page, we see that we're computing wages. I believe most of you have this page either done, the ones that I've talked to anyway. But for computing wages, all we're going to do is going to multiply our hours worked by the rate that we earned. So for number one, let's go ahead and get into our calculator. If we worked 10 hours and we earned $4 an hour, we know that our final answer for our wages would be $40. Okay? For the second one, we worked 8 hours and we earned $5.35 an hour, so we know that for our wages we earned $42.80. Because we're dealing with money, we want to add the 0 onto the end because that is cents. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do that for the rest of that first page. You're just multiplying. For the second page, we are estimating our annual wages. So if you look at the example, what they're doing is they're taking the hourly rate. For the example, it's $13.48, and you're going to multiply that by the estimated hours worked in a year, which is 2,000. So for all of these questions, we're going to take our hourly rate and multiply it by 2,000. So for number one, if we take 624 and multiply that by the 2,000 hours we're estimating to work in a year, our annual wages would be $12,480. Okay, for our second one, we're going to take the $7.89 and again multiply it by 2,000. So our annual wages for that one would be $15,780. Okay, pretty simple, straightforward. The rest of those, you're going to take your hourly wage, multiply it by 2,000. On to the next. Working with time cards. This is one of those worksheets where if you have an extra app, it's going to help you to be a lot more efficient. What you're doing is you're calculating the time that you worked in the morning, the time that you worked in the afternoon, and then you're just going to add those two values up. Okay, so what I did for this one, I went to, let me find it real quick, an app called the Time Calculator. Okay, what this allows you to do is a few things. You can type in the time that you worked, so you want to go to time between, and it has your two times that you can put in. So for number one, we worked from 8:15 in the morning to 11:37 in the morning so for that first morning shift, we know that we worked 3 hours and 22 minutes. We want to move on to the next one, where we started at 12:07 p.m. now, and we ended at 5:15 p.m. is already clicked. So for our second afternoon shift, we worked 5 hours and 8 minutes. To get how much time we worked in that day, we just want to add up those two numbers together. So if we go back, what I did on this one in this app, I went ahead and I found out all my times, and then I went back and found and added them all together. but let's show you what that looks like. So we know that we worked 3 hours and 22 minutes in the morning, and then we worked 5 hours and 8 minutes in the afternoon. I want to go back to the actual time calculator where it'll let me add those up. So 3 hours and 22 minutes in the morning, we're going to add that with the 5 hours and 8 minutes that we worked in the afternoon. And all together, we know that we worked 8 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, let's do one more, show you how the app works again. So we want to find the time, so we're going to toggle back to time between. We're going to do a new session. So we worked from 7:21 in the morning to 12:34. Because it's after 12 o'clock, we're going to put PM. So for that first morning session, we worked 5 hours and 13 minutes. We have a new one in the afternoon. We did from 1:34 p.m. to 4:44. Okay, so for that second shift of the day, we worked 3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, like I said, if this was me when I did my key, or if it's you working, what I would do is when you're in this part of the app, just go through and find out all of the times so that you're not switching back and forth so much. It will make this go a little bit quicker. Okay, but since this is the last example that I'm going to do, I'm going to switch back to the time calculator. I'm going to clear out the last problem, and now I'm going to add in my 5 hours and 13 minutes from the morning and add that to the 3 hours and 10 minutes in the afternoon, and we worked 8 hours and 23 minutes. Okay, if you look, it's the same as just adding up your hours, adding up the minutes. What's nice about this app is if you have minutes that are over 60, it automatically carries that over into the hours. So it simplifies your answer nicely. Number 3, I believe, is where you would have to carry over because your minutes will be over 60. Okay, so make sure that your time makes sense. If you're not using this app, make sure that you're simplifying your answer. Okay, remember there's 60 minutes in every hour, and that's really all that you would need to know for this one. Okay, the next worksheet, we are dealing with overtime rates. So when you're working overtime, there's a thing such as time and a half, and then there's what we call double time. So for time and a half, to figure out what your rate is, you're going to take your hourly rate and multiply it by 1.5. That's your time and a half rate. So I'm going to switch back to my regular calculator. We're going to start with 5:15. To find time and a half, we're going to multiply it by 1.5. And we're going to round it so that it makes sense for money. So $7.70. I'm going to look at the 2. Because the 5 is to the right of it, that 5 is going to bump it up to a 3, and we're going to earn $7.73. Okay, for the double time, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hourly rate and we're going to multiply that by 2 to double it. So 5:15 times 2 would give us a double time rate of $10. Again, this is money, so we have to add a 0 onto the end so that it's $10.30. Okay, so for time and a half, you're just multiplying everything by 1.5. For the double time, you're just multiplying everything by 2. All right. For activity 5, working overtime. This is where you're going to be using the overtime rates in real life. When you work overtime, what you're doing is you're figuring out how much at your normal hourly rate, and then you have to add in your overtime. So for your hourly rate, you always want to use 40 hours because that's 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. That is your normal working hours. Anything after that, you're going to apply your time and a half. Okay, so for the first part of this, you always want to find out how much are you working overtime. So you want to take the 40 and subtract it from the 45. So 45 minus 40, we can do that in our heads. We know that we're working 40 hours of regular and 5 hours of our overtime. So we want to figure out how much we're making for our normal hourly rate. So $5.15 times the 40 hours that we're working gives us $206 for just our normal rate. We're going to have to add that in with our overtime. Now our overtime is going to be time and a half. So if I have $5.15, I want to find the time and a half for that. For my overtime, I'm earning $7.73, and I'm doing that for 5 hours. So I have to multiply those two numbers together to figure out my overtime rate. So $7.73 times that 5 hours of overtime that I'm working, I get $38.65. Okay. To find your total wages, we just want to add those up. So our overtime plus our hourly rate for the 40 hours that we worked, our paycheck or our wages for that day would be $244.65. Okay, this one has a lot of steps, but if you think it through in terms of work and logic, it's not terrible. So let's do number 2 again. To find out how many hours of overtime, we would want to take the 42 and subtract out the 40 hours for a regular week. So we have 40 hours for our regular week, 2 hours of overtime. We want to find out how much are we working for our hourly wage. So 40 hours times the $6.24, we get $249.60. Plus we want to add in our overtime. So $6.24 times that time and a half. Our overtime rate is $9.36. And we worked 2 hours at that rate. So times our 2 hours, we get $18.72. And we want to add that together. So $249.60 plus the $18.72. And for the day, we earned for the week, $268.32. Okay, write everything out on this one. That way you don't forget what you're doing. Go through the steps, take it step by step, and it's not difficult. It is time consuming though. All right, weekly wages. So it tells us how much we're making on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we know how much we earn per piece. Okay, so if we made 12 pieces on Monday at 4.10 or $4.10 a piece, we could find that, add it all together. What I did for this one is add up all of your pieces for the week. So we had 12 on Monday, 13 on Tuesday, 13 on Wednesday, 10 for Thursday, and 10 for Friday. Altogether, we made 58 pieces for the week. If we're getting $4.10 for the piece, we want to multiply that. So 58 times 4.10, our wages would be $237.80. Okay, so add these up. For the second problem, we did 35 plus 36 plus 32 plus 37 plus 37. Okay, for number 2, we had 177 pieces. This time we're getting paid 79 cents per piece, so let's multiply that. And we get $139.83. Okay. So go ahead and add up all your pieces, multiply it by your piece rate, and you are good to go on that one. For the rounding money exercise, for each column that we're doing, we're looking at a different number. So for each cent, we want to look at the second decimal place. For each dime, we want to look at the first decimal place. And for each dollar, we're looking at the whole number out in front. So for our cent, we know that the 5 and the 1 are going to stay the same. We're going to look at the 5. Because the 0 is next to it, it's going to stay a 5. For the dime, we know that the 5 is going to stay. We're looking at the 1. Because the 5 is next to it, it's going to round up to a 2. Because we're dealing with money, we put the 0 in. For the dollar, we're looking at the 5. Because it's a 1 next to it, it's going to stay a 5. All right, we'll do one more. We are looking at the 0 for our cent column because, well, we know the 6 and the 5 are going to stay the same. Because there's a 6 next to the 0, it's going to round up to a 1. We know that the 6 is going to stay the same in the dime, but this time we're looking at the 5. Because we have a 0 next to it, it's going to stay a 5. And then for our dollar, we're looking at the 6. Because it's a 5 next to it, it's going to raise up to a 7. Okay, so you're just rounding. If you need more help, I have another video to explain that a little slower if we have difficulty rounding. Okay, let me know. You know how to get a hold of me. All right, these next ones are going to go pretty quick because they are simple adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So we want to know if we're making an annual salary, what our pay is going to be depending on how often we do get paid. So for our first problem, we get paid $46,800, and we're going to divide that by the 52 pay periods. So 46,800 divided by 52 pay periods, we're going to get $900 each check. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. This time it's 26 pay periods, so 46,800 divided by 26. This time we're making $1,800 a check. Okay, you're taking your annual salary and you're dividing it by your pay periods. Okay. For the next one, we're adding decimals. We know how to do this. You can use a calculator for it. Just make sure that you're hitting every button on your calculator so that you're not missing anything. Missing a decimal point will give you a way bigger number than what you're looking for. But you just add it in as you see. 11.74 for that first one. Same thing down below. Just add it into your calculator exactly as you see it. Okay, that one should go pretty quick for you. Okay, for activity 15, this one is a little bit different because it's asking you to find the oddball out, which one doesn't belong. So when you have, I'm going to get my key here so that I know I'm right. When you have 58 cents, you can write it as just 58 cents. You can write it as you would the whole decimal with the dollar. You can even write it as 0.58, but you don't want to combine the decimal with the cent symbol. So your answer for number 1 is going to be C. If you have $2.06, you don't have 206 cents. So for this one, there's no easy way or easy trick for me to help you with this. It's just a matter of trying to figure out which one is not showing what the other ones are showing. Okay, try your best on it. A lot of times they're trying to trick you with where the decimal place is. So be sure you're looking for that one. Okay, we are almost done, kind of. The next one, we're just adding up the prices. So if we buy something at a grocery store that's $1.99, we would add it 1.99 plus $4.39 plus $3.57 plus $2.49. Our total cost would just be $12.44. Okay, when you're doing cents, remember if it's 42 cents, you add it into the calculator with the decimal place in front of it. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. To compute the change, we're trying to find the difference, so we know that we're going to subtract it. We want to find the cash minus the purchase price. So we have $10 and we're subtracting out $9.75. Our change is going to be 25 cents. To do that, we can use we can use 1/4. Okay, for number 2, if we take the $5 that we pay and subtract out the $3.42 that was owed, we owe them $1.58. So we know that we're going to give them a $1 bill. To make up the 58 cents, we're going to do 2 quarters. To do the 8 cents, we're going to do 1 nickel and 3 pennies. Okay, so find out your total and then figure out how can you make that into change. What would you give them back if you were a cashier? What would you get back if you were a purchaser? Okay. Subtraction of decimals. Type it into your calculator exactly as you see it. So for number 1, we have 16.32 minus 2.9, and we get our answer of 13.42. Same thing down below. Just type it in exactly as you see it. There's no tricks. Make sure you're hitting every button on the calculator and you're not missing anything. Okay, for activity number 19, we want to use coupons, and we want to figure out coupons for more than one thing. So if you're buying an orange juice, the price for 1 orange juice is $1.89. You're saving 50 cents on 2 cartons for your coupon. So you have to buy 2 cartons. So we want to do $1.89 times the 2 cartons would be $3.78. We're saving 50 cents with our coupon, so subtract out that 50 cents and we're spending $3.28. For chicken noodle soup, it's 39 cents each. You save 40 cents on 8 cans, so we have to figure out how much 8 cans would start off as. So 39 cents times the 8 cans that we have to buy would be $3.12. And we want to subtract out the 40 cents that we're saving. And we would have $2.72. Okay, so it's just a matter of figuring out how much do you need to buy, how much does that cost, subtracting out what you save. All right, 2 more pages. Weights and measures for food. So all you're doing for this page is you're just saying what each symbol stands for. Okay, I'm not going to help you out with some of these because if I give them away, then that's an answer that you don't have to look up. You can use Google on this. You can ask your parents, friends, whoever, siblings. You're just telling me what each abbreviation or symbol stands for. And then for 9 through 16, they give you the word, you're telling me the abbreviation or symbol. Some of these are the same, but not many. Okay? And then the last page, we are finding out the amount saved on sale prices. So if we are buying a gas range, the regular price is $776.99. We bought it for $699.26. We want to know how much did we save. So to figure that out, we just want to subtract. So $776.99 minus the sale price of $699.26. We saved $77.73. Okay, so just take your regular price, subtract your sale price, that gets you your answers. With all of this, if you still find that you are having questions, let me know. If you need help turning them in, you have my contact information. I will work with you. We will get it figured out. I'm here to help. Okay?